Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bob Orr. I'm the Special Advisor of the Secretary General on Climate Change. And it's my great pleasure to join Minister Hakima Haite for this discussion today. Now, until we came up here, we didn't realize that we're actually putting the questions to each other and not having someone else. So I think I wanted to just begin. We have these wonderful banners behind us about COP22. And Madam Minister, you're going to play a central role in getting us to and through COP22. Could we start with just, you've seen this amazing ceremony today, the energy, the high level, we have this political momentum. How do we make sure that we carry that into Marrakech?
Thank you so much, and let me first congratulate the world, because this is a historical day today. Congratulate the parties for signing this agreement in a very symbolic day, which is the Earth Day. And I think that today we are writing a new page of the history of this world. I think that today this is the first day for the new civilization we are aiming to build. And we have lived during 2 years. It began in Lima already. During 2 years, we have lived this moment, and we hoped to reach this moment, and we did it. We thought at the moment that it was impossible because it was very difficult, but we did it. And now the issue is to maintain this momentum, to maintain the trust, and this is very important because this is something we have lost for a long time before Paris, and now is the right time to continue maintaining the momentum and maintaining the trust. And for that, Paris was a great moment. Today was greater, but the most important will be to maintain this trust while operationalizing the Paris agreements. And I think that when we made the candidature of Morocco, we said that Lima was the negotiation conference. Paris will be the one of the decision, and Marrakech will be the COP of the action. And now we want action, and this is what we are aiming for Marrakech. So Marrakech should give hope to people. Marrakech should give hope to the citizens of the world. Marrakech should explain and democratize the climate change issue, because this is not an environmental issue. This is a development and human rights issue. When we are speaking about climate change, we are speaking about those people who have no access to drinking water, and there are 300 million in Africa. We are speaking about those girls who are not going to school because they are going to look for water, and they are spending 1.4 million hours a day to look for water. We are speaking for food security and those people who are living hungers. And now in Marrakech, we need to give solution to those people. I know that we have an agenda, the one of Paris, and we have also a time schedule, which is from Paris Agreement, but we have also the opportunity by the pre-20 and 20 to give answers and to give actions to those people. Behind me, we have the SDGs, and I always say that SDGs, climate change, are so interconnected, because when Mr. Ban Ki-moon spoke about the SDGs, his aim was to achieve dignity for humanity. We can't have this dignity if we don't make happen and real the actions of climate change. So we will take you to Marrakech with action, 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 and action.
Amen, sister. I love the rallying cry of action and the way you laid out the 3 COPs, because quite frankly, the first 2 have achieved exactly what you set out: negotiating and deciding, and now action. You talked about trust, and I think it's actually a very important point. We don't hear that word a lot in international negotiations. We don't hear it. It's a very important human quality, but we start to think at this at a systemic level. How do we maintain trust in this implementation and action phase? What is the shortest path to keeping that trust?
You know, Paris Agreement, in my opinion, has 2 objectives. The first one is to limit the increase of temperature well below 2 degrees C. And this needs 2 actions: ambitions and ambitious indices. And I think and I hope that those people and those parties who signed today will increase their ambitions and actions through the action agenda. This is the first part of the agreement. The second part is to help the developing country and the most vulnerable to have answers to their problem and to their request. And now what we should and what the world need to understand, that we are not, those countries and those parties are not willing to feel that the Paris Agreement is a reality beyond 2020 and 2020. We need to feel that things are happening now, and we have tools for Marrakech. We have ambitions for Marrakech. We want to urge the international community to ratify the Kyoto Protocol, and this is the way to have fund for adaptation. We want the international community to commit on a roadmap which is clear for the pre-20 and 20. And in this roadmap, we can have actions, we can have initiative. There is an initiative for light in Africa, energy for Africa. We are building an initiative for adaptation, and there are projects, bankable projects. And now we need that those parties who can help. And I remember the speech of the Canadian Prime Minister, who said that we are not responsible and those parties are not responsible for the impact. I think that the international community and the citizens of this world need to understand that by implementing the Agreement of Paris and accelerating the actions and the global action agenda, we not only solving a problem of climate change, but we are giving food to people who need food, because there is 600 million hectares which are not irrigated in Africa because of the loss, the scarcity, we say. And we need to give drinking water to people. This is the way to save their health, to give them, to reach the SDGs. And we, through the impact of climate change, we are threatening their human rights. And this is a way to make justice among the world. This is the way to stabilize those people who are migrating from the south of Africa to the north. And this is a way to secure only security.
Well, I'll tell you, we talked about trust and the need for trust. We also need passion to keep this going, and I think you're going to be a power station for us of passion. I want to tell you a story that this week my daughter, 11-year-old daughter, came home from school with a magazine, and she opened it to a page with a picture of the newer power station, the solar power generation capacity. And she said, "Daddy, when do you think we'll be as advanced as Morocco?" So, just to give you the expectations are high for not just Marrakech, but for Morocco. Before we move to the different people here in a conversation, I just wanted to mention The road to Marrakech is action, action, action. And 2 weeks from yesterday, we will all be in Washington, D.C. together for Climate Action 2016, which will bring together key ministers that are here today, key CEOs, key civil society actors. Building these coalitions has taken many years. And now it's up to us to figure out how to make sure these coalitions broaden, deepen, and accelerate the action. So in 2 weeks' time, we'll be in Washington, D.C., which everyone knows is a rather important capital in this equation. And I think we need to use every platform as we head towards Marrakech to make sure that this swell, this groundswell, continues. So I think now we...
Let me first congratulate you on for your daughter. She is visionnaire, you know. you know, we need these youth and young people to dream about the world of yesterday. I think that all of us cannot imagine what will be the technology of tomorrow. And I think that innovation, and this is the term, advanced innovation, will be one of the pillars of the solutions we are waiting for in Marrakech.
So, if we could turn to all of you, please. And if you would like to ask a question in French, the minister has said she would be happy to answer in French or English. And you'll make her very happy if she gets at least one question in French.
Well, although I speak French and I was born in Marrakech, I'm an American who is...
Do it in French, please.
Yes. Non, vraiment. First of all, I have to congratulate you via your extraordinary King of Morocco, Mohammed V, who would be very proud of his grandson, Mohammed VI, who has implemented this extraordinary engagement in climate change, in everything innovative. Morocco is right there, very active. So with this, you have an enormous responsibility. How do you feel about that, having being the leaders of such a great movement?
Je vais par contre vous répondre en français.
Je vous en prie.
Merci Madame pour vos compliments. C'est effectivement une lourde responsabilité. Nous avons le monde sur nos épaules et l'espoir des mondes et des jeunes qu'on a entendus ce matin sur nos épaules. Et nous voulons que le Maroc soit exemplaire. Pendant des décennies, le Maroc s'est adapté au changement climatique pour des raisons de survie. En 1964, le Maroc a réalisé ses premiers barrages pour sécuriser l'eau potable et pour sécuriser l'alimentation, la sécurité alimentaire. C'était dans les années 60. Le Maroc a toujours réagi. Et à partir des années 2000, avec l'avènement de notre roi Mohammed VI, le Maroc a commencé à anticiper. Il ne réagissait plus. Il a mis en place des politiques publiques intégrant le climat. Bien avant qu'on parle de l'accord de Paris, nous avons lancé une politique énergétique en 2008 qui escomptait dans le temps d'atteindre 42% d'énergie renouvelable en 2020 au niveau de notre capacité électrique. Aujourd'hui, le Maroc escompte 52% en 2030. Et c'est juste pour vous dire, l'exemplarité, le Maroc a levé la subvention sur les énergies fossiles. Et je vous rappelle, mesdames et messieurs, qu'aujourd'hui, on est encore en train, alors qu'on a signé aujourd'hui l'accord de Paris par 170 chefs d'État, on est encore en train de financer les énergies fossiles à hauteur de 600 milliards de dollars par an. Je vous donne cet exemple pour vous dire que malgré nos retards, parce qu'on n'a pas tout fait, nous avons une cohérence au niveau de notre politique publique. Nous avons une vision pour un développement durable. Nous sommes sur une trajectoire de durabilité. Et c'est ça l'exemple qu'on voudrait donner, qu'avec peu de moyens, pas de pétrole, pas de gaz, rien que de la connaissance et l'humilité d'apprendre. Nous avons réalisé des choses et nous avons la plus grosse centrale solaire au monde et on en est très fiers.
Thank you. I think we have one question down here.
Thank you. My name is Andalib Shah, and I lead an initiative called TechFugees. We are trying to bring technology, innovation, and agility to address the refugee crisis. So my question for you is, are there examples of ways that you're working with technology companies and how you're weaving technology into finding the solutions and working with your local government?
You know, the banner, and we present that in COP21 already. The banner of the COP22 was innovation. Innovation in adaptation, innovation in mitigation, innovation. For us, innovation is the hope. Why? Because until now, all the countries, all the parties, when they present their INDCs and when the UN aggregates the INDCs, they show that we can't reach this 2 degrees C we are aiming. We are, until now, we have a gap of 12 gigaton around 2020, a gap of 12 gigaton. So we have two ways to reach the objective. Either to be innovative, either to increase the ambitions. And this is very costly for the countries. And I think that innovation will be the key, because in the history, if each time in the history of the world, human being was in front of a huge challenge, he was innovative. And I believe in innovation. So what we did in Morocco, first, a university of innovation with the UN, and Mr. Sachs is our partner in this big project, and we will have a huge agglomeration of innovators. This is the first thing. Second thing, we create the hub of innovation in the village of Marrakech. And we don't want to make exhibitions of technologies. We want the, how do we call it, change game technologies. We want the technologies, the innovative technologies. And we also thought that the immaterial patrimoine, we say that in English? The immaterial patrimoine, we will make an exhibition of patrimoine immaterial in Marrakech. And for us, this is to inspire innovators. So we believe that innovation is a key, and the university should follow.
If I could just add briefly on this question of the refugees, particularly, the unprecedented number of refugees we have in the world today is straining all the services of the international machinery and the national capacities in various countries. And we do need to get more innovative about how to meet those needs, including education needs. Technology can be very useful in that regard. Including energy needs, solar deployable solar power to make sure that refugee camps are safe, that they're lighted at night, that the water is purified. So there are many technologies that we have deployed in various parts of the world that just have not been fully deployed to those who most need them, which are in situations of displacement and in refugee camps. So I think this is a very good initiative that you're talking about. If I could turn back here, please.
Yes, hi. I just wanted to ask a little bit about the climate summit that's going to be taking place in DC. Could you tell us why DC is important?
Why is DC important? I think that's a very good question. The multi-stakeholder reality that really took a new level here in New York in 2014 is one of the reasons for success of Paris. If you looked at what happened in Paris and how it was different than all previous COPs, it was that the maturation of these coalitions of actors, of civil society, of business, of finance, were much thicker, much stronger, and gave leaders a sense that they could make this deal because they had the power behind them to deliver on it. We need to continually renew that sense. And obviously, coming out of Paris and heading towards Marrakech, there's no better place to try to show that both possibility and the necessity of those coalitions staying in the field. Washington in 2 weeks will be an exciting moment, not only because of who's there and what they're talking about and what they're committing to, but because it's in Washington, D.C. It sometimes amazes me that this discussion does not always go through Washington, D.C. It takes place in many other places. We need all the major capitals to be right in the central nodes in this equation. So bringing the action story that the minister spoke of to all parts of the globe, including Washington, D.C. And in 2 weeks, I think we'll see that that is an important statement of the world to the U.S., but also that the players in the U.S. have an important commitment and story to tell to the world. That back and forth between the world and the U.S. will be central to making sure this is a successful negotiation and a successful implementation on the ground.
I just would like, you remind me something, I would like to congratulate Mr. President Obama because of his statement of 2 days ago, I think, concerning the Montreal Protocol. And I think that this is such actions who can help to improve the situation around the world and in a very, very short time. For the action agenda, 2 years ago, we couldn't imagine that the entrepreneurs and the private sector was so involved. And we heard in Paris that the investment in renewable by the private sector were by far higher than our expectation. We were negotiating for $100 billion a year, and the private sector have already injected $500 billion during 2 years in climate change and in renewable. It means that the market is already there. Technology is already there. And the private sector believe, the territories believe in such issue. And for us, I can tell you that this is, for Morocco, climate change was a risk, was a problem, but it was also an opportunity for us to innovate and to create new jobs, green climate jobs, and to create new technology and to decrease the cost of energy on the budget of the state. The cost of energy cost the state 15% of its investment budget. To decrease this cost was and to reorient this money to education, to health, helps Morocco. So for us, climate change is also climate change.
Well, thank you. I am told we have run out of time, but I want to thank you all for joining us and thank the minister for coming, but the leadership you're showing now, and you will be leading us here.
Do you allow me to write what said your daughter?
Yes. In fact, I will tell you,
what
she asked if I would, Isabel, and she asked if I was going to see you here because you were quoted in this article. So I think she wanted to know if her dad was really seeing important people.
I would be delighted. Thank you so much. Thank you.